Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular scheduled meeting of the Beavercreek City Council. Before we get started tonight, we got some very special things we're going to do before the formal meeting. And to start it off, we have a special proclamation for Arbor Day. So I'd like to ask the representatives from the Tree Advisory Board, Jeannie Kune and Steve McLean. Please come forward. We have a great item in front of us for the camera today, don't we?
Great.
Please turn so you can they'll get you on the camera. Okay. But we have the privilege of being awarded a Tree City USA, and that's a presentation I think is going to be made on Friday. And in the meantime, I do want to read this proclamation, if you don't mind. So whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for our wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, beautify our community, and wherever they are planted are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, Bob Stone, Mayor of the City of Beavercreek, along with the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim April 27, 2019 as Arbor Day in the City of Beavercreek and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and encourage all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. So I would like to present this to you. And I would like to also present you the mic, and you might want to say a little bit.
I would, thank you. What better day than Arbor Day to have a proclamation for our Tree City? On the 27th, which is Saturday this week, we will be joining with Parks, Recreation, and Culture to present a special program at Lefino Park. Their kickoff to summer starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, and our Arbor Day celebration begins at 2, and we'll have the Greene County Beekeepers Association and the Beavercreek Wetlands people there to help celebrate with us, and we'll be giving away some saplings that you can plant then in your own home landscape. Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you very much. Steve, would you like?
She did great.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate everything you do. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
All right. We have a Older Americans Month proclamation. Do I have a representative from the Senior Center here with me tonight? Please come up and join me. Do we have several of them? Come on up. Councilman, you want to come down too? You're part of the club. Well, you know, we have a wonderful senior center here in Beavercreek, and it's a great place, and I think most of everybody that's in this little group here has been there or members there. And so I do want to read this Older Americans Month proclamation. So whereas each May, Ohio and the nation celebrate Older Americans Month as a time to honor our elders for their legacy and for their contribution to our nation. And whereas the senior adults in Beavercreek are among our most treasured resources. Now, we all know that's true now, don't we?
It's a nice way of saying it.
United by historical experiences, strengthened by diversity, and interpreting events through varied perspectives and backgrounds, which brings wisdom and insight to our community. And whereas our senior adults have proven to be energetic and involved citizens in our community, taking charge of their health and utilizing the resources to continue an active lifestyle. And we know at the center that the volunteers are a big thing in this community. And whereas our senior adults are valuable members of society who enhance the Beavercreek community as well as our personal lives. And whereas our senior adults should be recognized and honored as well as the professionals as the professionals, family members, and volunteers who care for and work with many of them. Now, therefore, I, Bob Stone, Mayor of the City of Beavercreek, Ohio, along with the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2019 as Older Americans Month in the City of Beavercreek, and salute and honor all the Beavercreek senior adults for enhancing and contributing to the quality of life in Beavercreek. So you're going to accept this on behalf of this group. And would you like the mic, or do we need to pass it down the road?
You can pass it down. Chuck's always got a good word.
No. Chuck will tell a joke.
Hi, can you hear me? I moved to Beavercreek 3 years ago, and my daughter-in-law lives here, and she told me, you have to go to the senior center, and I said, well, excuse me, I'm not old enough. But somehow she told me that the gym was free, so I went. And I have to tell you, it's the most exciting place. It's not just like, old people. It's active people, and I mean, I've made friends. This is my friend. We just met because we were in the same exercise class. So it is such a resource, and I just love that you have it here. So thank you for supplying all that.
When you turn 55, then you can join us.
Yes.
So we have a lot of great programs. We play euchre, line dancing.
Workout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything. So.
We just came from there.
And and I mean, the exercise alone is just,
Yes.
healthy.
Yeah.
So when you're older, you're worried about things like that.
Well, as you heard, they have a lot of fun at the center, but as we all know, our senior population is a big part of this community, and they participate in so many things throughout the community. They go to a senior center to have fun, but there's a lot of other things that they do as well. So thank you very much. We appreciate you being here. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we have a very special presentation tonight. We have representatives from UES tonight with us. All right. Is it Lisa and Ruth? All right. How are you? Nice to see you again. Look, I think that when you were here a year ago, we had the beginning level robotics here.
I think so.
And look, we've grown up.
It was exciting to see. This should be great.
Yeah, we love it.
But anyway, if you want to stay around a little bit, we're going to have a wonderful demonstration here in just a few minutes by this young group here. So anyway, I'm going to hand you the mic.
That would be great. Thank you,
Thank
Mayor
you.
Stone.
Please. Mr. Thonerow is going to join us
That's
and
great.
accept the check for us.
Very good. For over 45 years, UES has been rooted in the Beavercreek area. We take pride in being good corporate citizens of the city of Beavercreek since the Joshi family began supporting the local wetlands and the parks and recreation facilities many years ago. UES brings over 250 jobs to this region, most of them in science and technology. We are your neighbors as individuals and as a business, sharing a common thread in our support of this beautiful city. UES provides on-site scientific research as well as management of several facilities within the aerospace systems, materials and manufacturing, and human performance directorates of the Air Force Research Laboratories at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. We also have several in-house laboratories at our corporate location on Dayton-Xenia Road, where our flagship product RoboMet 3D for automated serial sectioning and material characterization is manufactured. UES is happy to be able to give back to our local community. So on behalf of UES, I am honored to present the City of Beavercreek with a gift in the total amount of $20,000 in support of this year's 4th of July celebration.
All right.
Shall we hold?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on in here.
Okay.
All right. UES has been part of an active part of this community for many, many years, and they are a proud sponsor of the fireworks for the city. And this group of blue shirts here, they need to remember that UES. Someday when you come back from your schooling, This is a wonderful company, and I'm sure you're going to want to look them up. All right. Anything you'd like to say?
No, we're happy to be here.
Well, once again, thank you so much, and we look forward to the fireworks.
Good, good.
All right.
We do too.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, now we have a special presentation for everybody here and away and in TV land. We had to, many of us went to the competition, not demonstration, out at the Nutter Center, and we said, you know what, let's ask this group if they'd like to come and join us. So we have Vault, give me the number again, 6936, Vault 6936, Beavercreek competition. So who would like the mic and to get this thing started representing? Please come on up here. I'm going to turn this over to you, and you're going to put on a show for us, all right? What's your name?
My name's Sonia Belts.
Sonia, thank you for being here.
First, on behalf of our entire team, I'd like to thank City Council for inviting us here to present our robot. We're very proud of what we've done this season. So my name's Sonia Belts. I'm the student president of Vault 6936. We're a high school robotics team, and Akilesh over here is going to tell you a little bit more about us. So you want to take... There you go.
Hi everyone, my name's Akilesh and I'm a junior at Beavercreek High School. So our team, Vault 6936, is a part of the organization FIRST, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. So FIRST has leagues ranging from kindergarten to 12th grade, and we're part of the high school league, which is FIRST Robotics Competition, where every year we're given a game challenge, and based on that we're required to design a robot which will compete there. So last year was our first year as a team, and it was a great one indeed, as we won the rookie All-Star Award, which allowed us to go to the first national championships in Detroit, and we performed really well there, and we were really proud of our performance as a first-year team. So our team is divided up into 4 small sub-teams, you can say, which is the computer-aided design team, the build team, the programming team, and the business team. So the computer-aided design team designs the robot, the build team builds the robot, programming team actually codes the robot and allows it to make it function as we want it to. And finally, the business team organizes community outreach events, such as this. So since we only have 6 weeks to build such a big robot, we must use our time really efficiently. So in the first week or so, we start brainstorming the ideas about like how we want to continue forward. Then we test and prototype these ideas to see which one will be the best to continue forward with. So once we've decided on this idea, we start building and designing the robot as a whole. And once we're done with this process, which takes about 3 to 4 weeks, we go on to program the robot, which allows it to function as we want it to. And finally, the most important part comes, the drive team practice, because the drive team are the people who control the robot at the competitions, so it's important that they get as much as practice as possible.
Okay, I'm going to ask, I know the people out in TV land would like to hear you well. If you can kind of hold that a little closer to your mouth. It's on, don't worry about that. You're doing well, you're doing a great job.
Sorry about that. Okay. So after our 6 weeks are done, we head on to the 2 competitions, which are the Miami Valley Regional at the Nutter Center and the Buckeye Regional at Cleveland. So if we do really well in these competitions, we go on to further qualify for the first national championships in Detroit, like we did in our first year. And this year, we actually still did really well as a team, and we earned the Judges Award, which recognizes a young team for their outstanding growth and outreach, which Alex will tell you about.
Hey guys, I'm Alex Azar. I'm the co-lead for the business team, as Akilesh said. Wait, is this thing on? Oh, okay, just making sure I didn't hear myself. So immediately from the start of the team, we recognized that FIRST just wasn't about building robots and such as he was talking about. It's also about reaching out to the community and giving back to it. So this past year, we actually mentored, you were talking about the smaller version of us, the FLL teams. We mentored 3 of those last year, and we also gave space in our STEM center back at Indian Ripple Road, where we're based out of. We gave space to 7 of those teams. Along with that, this past summer, we hosted the Sherrod Brown Summer STEM Camp, where 30 kids from the area came to learn about everything involved in building a robot within 1 week. So building, programming, all that jazz, they did in 1 week, and we taught them. It was a lot of fun. One of our current members actually came from one of that STEM camps, so it's pretty great. We've also had a lot of other exposure in the area. We went to three times we went to the Air Force Museum over there for the family STEM nights, which was a lot of fun. We've also been to the Dayton Air Show. We gained a lot of exposure there, over 50,000 people, so that was a lot of fun. An airman came by and actually he spent half the day with us. He was driving the robot around. He had a great time. Not only that, we're also a very diverse team. Sorry, tripping on words. We have a very good male to female ratio. It's 3 to 1, which is actually really good in our area, especially considering the population and the interest in STEM just in general in our area. And we represent a lot of different ethnic backgrounds and communities in this area, which is also pretty great. Not only that, hey guys, I'm going to tell you a little secret. So UES over there was one of our sponsors. So it takes a lot of money to run one of these. Maybe. Over $35,000. Just to kind of break it in there. It's a lot between admission costs to certain competitions. Building the actual robot itself is also pretty darn expensive. And housing and lodging for all competitions going there, it costs a lot. And so we've done a good job in keeping ourselves sustainable. We have a lot of sponsors now currently, especially thanks to our good start last year as a first-year team. And we're still growing and hoping to support more teams. So we're going to, specifically Bellbrook, we tried last year to make another FRC team one of these. They declined simply because they just didn't have the resources at the moment, but this time we have the resources, all of it necessary to start a new one. So we're going to start that, and we're also going to start more FLL teams in the area, back in Xenia and Ankeny. And so yeah, that's kind of the outreach side of things. And speaking of building robots and stuff, Dylan over here has the scoop on all that jazz.
Well, I'm Dylan. I'm a freshman, and I'm a part of the programming team. And so basically, our game consisted for this year of where we would be put on the field, and there would be 3 ships. And so basically, you have a hole, and you could put the ball through the hole, but you have to block up the hole with a hatch panel like this, and you earn points for that. And then you also earn points if you put the cargo ball, which is this, into there. And so basically, in our first in our first competition, we did decent. We got 41 out of 60, and so we realized our mistakes and practiced more with the drive team. And so basically, that means at our next competition, we were able to get 23rd out of 60. Good, but still not enough to get to Worlds. So here's a robot, as we named it, the Lorax. We code it using that computer, and our drive team uses those controllers to, drive the robot. And so basically, there's 4 main parts of the robot. We got our main base, which consists of mechanism wheels, using mechanism wheels, we get much higher maneuverability on the field and get much more, which helps us get a lot more points. As in our second competition, we were able to get 9th overall personally when it comes to scoring. And so next we have our lift, which lets us be able to move our arm up and down, because on the ships there's different levels of which you could put cargo and hatches on. And then comes our main part is the arm, which we have a hatch part. Well, you can't really see it right here. Yeah, let's turn it. Thank you. Right here we got our main arm. So we have a pneumatics board with a piston where we could have this little Velcro to attach to the hatch, and then we could push it out to the the Velcro on the ship to hold the hatch. And then we could also have these arms which can kind of fold inward or outward depending on whether we want a cargo ball or a hatch panel. And so we also have some cameras attached to here to help with our vision, and a electronics board where we use a main yep, so here it is. And so we have a main electronics board where we use the main controller to control the motors and all the other such in this mess of wires. So now for an example of our robot.
All right, we're going to get an example. We're going to get it worked here. Okay, got to get her connected. Well, I'm sure your description was minimal compared to all the parts and pieces I see on that. That was that's a monstrous undertaking for a group. Is the city's Wi-Fi not good now? Okay, you're good. Shannon, we need a basket. All right. Yeah. He's taking a bow now, right? All right. This is the finale. All right. We want to thank you very much for taking the time to come out here this evening. I know it's a lot of effort to come out, but to get the word out, we want the community to know what it is you do. And I always enjoy, and I know the council members always enjoy going to the competition, so we look forward to this year's as well. So thank you. You're welcome to stay if you like, but I would encourage you that you might want to just slowly head out the back door. But you're more than welcome to stay if you'd like. All right. Did you have anybody else have anything they wanted to say before we? Yeah, you can go right up front there if you'd like. Sure. Would you guys pass this around and introduce yourselves, the ones that didn't?
Hello. I'm Jacob Schweenar. I'm a senior at Beavercreek High School. I am the captain of the programming team, and I also do the main driving at competitions.
My name is Justin Cutter. I am a freshman, and I'm on the build team.
Hello, my name is Arun Sankar. I too am a freshman at Beavercreek High School, and I also help build the robot.
I'm Abby Hack. I'm a senior at Beavercreek, and I'm on the build team.
My name is Akhilesh Prasad, and I'm a junior at Beavercreek High School, and I'm on the CAD team. That's everyone.
Hi, my name's Owen Fours. I'm part of the drive team and the computer-aided design team. I'm a sophomore at Beavercreek High School.
Yes, because the game changes every year.
So you say that a new robot will be built next year. Now, do you put this robot up for auction?
No, we keep it and we'll bring it to our
It goes into a museum somewhere in the Beavercreek? All right. Any other comments from council? You got any questions? Here, you want to answer?
Yes, we can reuse the pieces, but we'll just have to make a different robot because it's not going to be the same thing. We're probably not going to be using the orange balls again next year, so it's we don't know what it's going to be. So it's going to be maybe completely different. It's going to be a completely different task. Just say something.
The technical way it works is that you can't reuse anything that's fabricated. So all the pieces we have being used right now as supports for the main arm, we could use those if we were to cut them down to stock and then refabricate a piece out of them, but we cannot use those pieces specifically. But we can also reuse any electronics pieces that we have because those are considered off-the-shelf pieces.
When do they announce what the project is for next year compared to the first competition?
This past year and every year before that, since first beginning, I believe they gave every team a 6-week build period, and that was starting the first Saturday of January. So from that point on, you'd have basically until the middle of February. Then as soon as that was done, the robot would have to be put into a large plastic bag with a zip tie and proper documentation maintained to show that you had actually no longer been working on your robot after that 6-period time. But next year and going forward, they're getting rid of the bag day concept, so you'll be able to work on the robot from the first Saturday in January all the way up and through your competitions.
Well, thank you very much, and make sure we get an invitation next year, too, in the competition. All right, we want to be there. So one more round of applause for Vault 6936. Thank you. Well, I will say after that, the rest of the meeting is going to be a little boring, but that's, thank you again once for being here. And we're going to start the official part of the meeting. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Curran?
Here.
Councilmember Literal? Here. Councilmember Rushing?
Here.
Councilmember Upton?
Here.
Councilmember Van? Here. Vice Mayor Garcia? Here. Mayor Stone?
Here. And we have Scout Troop with us tonight, and I've asked them to help us lead us in the pledge. If you'd come up to the mic and introduce yourselves, please, and where you're from. Just walk up to the mic and individually introduce yourself.
Hello.
Hi.
You can push it down there.
It'll hear you.
Hello, I'm Jack Bales.
Welcome.
My name is Andrew Kettleson.
Hi.
Andrew, thank you.
My name is Jacob Huddleston.
My name is Jace Pambrin.
All right.
I'm Isaac Graham, and we're Troop 42.
Troop 42, you said?
Yeah.
All right. Now, if you would come up front again, and please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Whenever you're ready.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, fellas, and if we will remain standing just for a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, we have an agenda before us. Are there any changes?
Seeing none, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as submitted. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Approval of minutes, March 25th, 2019, regular meeting.
Motion to approve the regular meeting on March 25th.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the March 25th meeting as submitted. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Next is the minutes for the April 8th, 2019 regular meeting.
Motion to approve regular meeting.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted for the April 8th meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. The abstentions? I think we had one abstention. There we go. All right, moving on. Ordinances, resolutions, and PUDs. First on the agenda is Resolution 19-26.
This is a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute collective bargaining agreements with the Fraternal Order Police Lodge Number 160, covering sergeants, patrol officers, and civilian employees.
Mr. Landrum, are you going to do that, or is Mr.
Chief was going to, and I think he was helping the
He's down helping the team out.
team out. Mr. Thornero, can you maybe assist with that? What you have before you is a 3-year contract with the FOP. Staff has spent actually times from last year negotiating the contract with the FOP. The FOP has voted on it and has accepted the contract. A little bit of summary I'm going to let Chief bring you up on.
Good evening, Chief.
Mayor, my apologies. I was sending the robot down on the illustrious elevator.
I'm sure that was a lot of fun.
Right back up.
No,
It's on its way down.
Oh, it's on its way
On
still.
the waiter, the dumb waiter.
Okay.
All right, I have before you the result of the contract negotiation with the FOP. City of Beavercreek and members of the Fraternal Order Police Lodge 160 had a contract that expired December 31st of 2016. Subsequently, the FOP and the city mutually extended the contract for 2 additional years with minor modifications through an MOU that extended the contract through December 31st of 2018. As such, formal negotiations occurred between the parties, which started prior to the end of 2018. Those negotiations resulted with an agreed settlement that was ratified by the members of the 3 collective bargaining units within the FOP, being the civilians, sergeants, and patrol officers. Those agreements are for a 3-year period beginning January 1, 2019 and ending December 31st, 2021. The proposed agreements include the following. Effective 1/1/2019, wage increase 2.75%, a 2.5% increase effective 1/1/2010, and a 2.5% increase effective 1/1/2021. Effective 1/1/2019, night shift differential will increase from 50 cents to 70 cents per hour. And effective 1/1/2019, the employee contribution for health insurance increases from 17% to 17.5%. Thereafter, language has been added to cap any future increases to 18.5% during the term of this agreement, and staff is recommending approval of this resolution.
Thank
Be
you very
happy
much.
to answer any questions.
Thanks, Chief. Anyone have any questions?
I'd just like to say thanks to your team, Chief, as well as the Fraternal Order of Police and the civilians and the sergeants and the patrol officers for working in good faith and to come to this resolve so that everyone's, working together and each side received a little something. So I think that's great for the community and great for all involved.
Thank you.
It is hard to negotiate a contract, and you did present it very clearly at our work session, so we have gone over some of the details, and thank you for your work.
Thank you.
And thanks for the officers. They are a great service to the city.
Okay. Anyone else? Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 19-26.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 19-26. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next, Resolution 19-27.
This is a resolution reaffirming Resolution Number 18-44 as amended, which implemented Sections 3735.65 through 3735.70 of the Ohio Revised Code, established and described the boundaries of the community reinvestment area of the City of Beavercreek, Ohio, designated a housing officer to administer the program, and created a Community Investment Housing Council and a Tax Incentive Review Council.
Thank you. Are you doing this, or is Mr. McGrath doing this? Mr. McGrath.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. We're here before you this evening considering an affirmation of something that's already been approved. It was a resolution to create the district. Back in September of last year, we sent over our application to the state. They're pretty busy, as everybody else is in this time of year, so we had to go some back and forth on some comments and some revisions we had to supply to them. And by the time we have a fully completed packet, I think probably one of the most complete packets they've ever seen, with all the information for our application. It was past the 60 days since the initial approval of the application, or of the resolution. So they were advised us, they've been very cooperative with us, the Ohio Department of Development has, and they said, here's an example resolution that you can do to affirm your original decision that will bring you into compliance with the application being presented at 60 days past the original resolution date. So that's what's before you this evening, just kind of reaffirming a previous decision so we can get this finalized and get the board created and get it up and running.
All right, thank you. Any questions? Anyone? Do I have a motion?
Second. Motion to approve Resolution 1927.
I have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 19-27. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. Next is Resolution 19-28.
This is a resolution approving a petition for special assessments for special energy improvement projects, a plan for public improvements, and the articles of incorporation for the creation and governance of an energy special improvement district under Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 1710, and declaring the necessity of acquiring, constructing, and improving certain public improvements described in the plan for public improvements in cooperation with the Beavercreek Energy Special Improvement District.
Thank you. Mr. McHugh.
Yes, Mayor and Council, before you have turn that down, thank you. You have the three pieces of legislation, items C, D, and E, and if it's all right with everyone, I'll just kind of go through one time and go through this. Okay, all these are part of one transaction. This is a PACE transaction, which in the agenda, but for the public, does stand for Property Assess Clean Energy. It is a way to fund clean energy. What this does is it creates what's referred to as a citywide ESID, which again is an Energy Special Improvement District. What happens with respect to this, very briefly, is that by using PACE and the ESID itself, this will allow special improvements or special assessments to be used to pay for clean energy, which will then allow the property owner to upgrade and improve the efficiency and quality of energy usage and equipment in a building. And by doing so, then they will be paid for through assessments. The other good portion of this, or part of this, is that it does not take tax revenue from the city. So unlike other forms, like a TIF, let's say, which would be a reapportionment of tax revenue, in this particular case, this is the same tax revenue that the owner, or should they sell the property, the future owner would be paying. It is for 25 years. This is a 105-room hotel, home to suites, estimated at $6.2 million, so it's a pretty large project. The annual assessments for those are also estimated at $125,000. Now, ultimately, at the third reading, depending upon interest rates and certification of these improvements, which is in the process now, there may be some changing or tweaking of that, the amount, because that is estimated and has to again be certified for final approval of this, which will be done. The resolution necessity, the ordinance to proceed, and the ordinance to assess Those are all different in this process. They're same vehicles that we'd use if we're going to assess for sidewalks. So it's just the way it's being done is slightly different. This is a citywide, but unlike a CRA where you incorporate the whole city, this effectively, it will take each time a property owner will need to apply, we'll go through the petition, the resolution, and the two ordinances. Now, what we won't do is articles of incorporation and establishing the corporation. That, because this is creating the city of Beavercreek, ESID, we have to incorporate first. So that's what this is doing. The board of directors is generally 2 city representatives and 3 from the owner. I did negotiate to an arrangement with the owner that there will be 3 city officials, 2 then owner representatives, and so that'll be the makeup of the board. The other important thing too is that one of the benefits of this also is that cost of the city, where we will get a feedback on it, and time that I'm spent, which is substantial reading all this and making changes. That fortunately is a cost at closing too. So that's good for the city too. So I'll be glad to answer any questions if there are any.
Okay, let's open it up. Questions?
So if something bad would happen to this hotel, Homes 2 Suites, and they would go out of business after they signed all these contracts?
The assessments are still there. I mean, it's not, the thing, at the end of the day, this will cost the city. I mean, yes, I guess in theory, if they went bankrupt and no one took it over, if someone took it over, then certainly those assessments are still there. But ultimately, this is a financing arrangement between Pace Equity, which is effectively the bank in this transaction, the owner of the hotel, the developer, those, and the city, because of our status as a municipal city and under the statute, we are effectively the vehicle that allows this financing to occur, and because it can then be lower tax rate and therefore lower rate financing, it is the differential of the savings between traditional financing and this financing is really what drives these improvements, and the state legislature has adopted this program, and that's really what this allows. It encourages property owners and developers to maybe invest in energy improvements and energy projects that they might not otherwise invest in.
So the city is held safe?
The city will not be responsible for this.
Even if they go into bankruptcy?
If they go into bankruptcy,
Okay.
it is, yeah.
This is the same program that the mall utilized.
It is exactly the
I
same.
just wanted to emphasize
Right.
that they are using us, but we are safeguarded and are not, we are helping them, but not financially liable.
Yeah, and I think going forward, this will be a very good program for businesses that already exist, businesses that want to develop in the city of Beavercreek, because it does provide a significant a program to allow them to either improve and retrofit what exists, or when they're constructing something new, to use today's technology at a higher level to achieve energy savings, which is certainly a good thing.
Anyone else?
So the district that we created for the mall, that was specific to the mall area? Because this particular project is pretty close to the mall.
That's correct, but the mall was that ESID was created only for the mall. That's right. This one
we are going citywide.
Open. This is going citywide, and any, if there's another company that wants to do a project, the city, should the city build something at some point in the future, upgrade the service center, let's say.
Or elevators.
We could take her. I'd have to, I'm not sure elevators.
It's energy.
Solar energy.
What does the ESID, since this new one is now citywide, what impact does that have to the one that's currently existing with the mall?
None.
It's already,
So we're gonna have a
it's already
district
done.
inside the district, essentially.
Correct.
And we're gonna have two boards of directors.
Correct.
Can we look at cleaning that up? I mean, is it possible to?
I don't, well, because
It's
I
probably
don't
not
think
worth
we
it. It's
can,
probably not worth
because
it.
that is a separate
not be.
financing.
And it's not gonna be long before it's.
We, you know, again, when we brought that mall through, it was the first time we went through this, and we kind of explored our alternatives, given our financing
We're like the third community in the state to do this with the mall. Is that right?
I wouldn't know that for sure, but I know that we were around here. Once we did it for the mall, there was a lot of interest from other municipalities looking to do the same thing that we were. So, but there was a lot of comments were made. Well, why are we doing this exclusively for the mall? But for terms of timing, we had to create it for the mall. The mall eventually, that pace will eventually expire after the assessments are going away. So there is an opportunity to clean it up, but it will be after the assessments are paid. And the reason it's attractive to developers or even banks where they get the lower interest rate because they're in a second lien holder position. So if the bank who initially gives you the loan to construct the building is usually in the first lien holder position, and then the assessments are in a second position. So they do go out of business, like you said, and it gets foreclosed upon. The bank obviously who finance the construction will get paid first, and then the assessment gets paid second. So there's no guarantee. There's nothing by the city in terms of money guarantees, but using our mechanism for assessments that the state allows us to gives them a lot surer of a position, relying just solely on their credit because they're actually tied to the actual property itself on a property tax basis.
What's an example of those assessments?
Well, we did for the second phase of the green. We assessed most of the public improvements back there. I think it was a $6 million special assessment for the project, the Green Town Center. So,
New Germany Trabine
So,
improvements.
but where I'm going with this is then these energy payments will be paid first, and our infrastructure improvements will be paid second.
No.
No.
It's on a tax bill, it'll be assessments. I mean, when the tax bill.
I'm just making sure we're not still getting caught.
No,
it's
the tax bill comes
if the
due-
assessments get wrapped into your property tax bill as part of your property tax bill. So what it gets paid to the assessment the assessment gets paid and the property tax get paid. It's just a matter of who gets paid after the fact if it gets foreclosed on a bank or the financier of the special assessment. So
but
we're not in any liability.
Yeah, let's assume there's no foreclosure.
No, I don't think there will be.
They'll get a tax bill, and that tax bill could have an assessment for sidewalks, could have an assessment for streetlights, and it'll have an assessment of this. It'll be one bill with one total amount. And twice a year, they're gonna get they'll get a bill for this. And equity financing, they know that.
Anyone else? Do I hear a motion?
I would move for approval of resolution 19-28.
Second.
28. I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 19-28. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Roll call.
Okay. Roll call then, please.
Councilmember Literal?
Yes.
Councilmember Rushing?
Yes.
Councilmember Upton?
Yes.
Councilmember Van?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Garcia?
Yes.
Councilmember Curran?
Yes.
Mayor Stone?
Yes. Thank you. Now, these next two ordinances are all related to the resolution we just adopted. And
Yes, they are, and the third reading, as is noted in the agenda, will not be until, or the emergency portion will not go in effect till the third reading, at which time we will ask for emergency, because that's when the financing rate will be set, and they'll need to lock that in at that point.
all right, the first ordinance, just on a very brief statement, Mr. McHugh, does what as far as the pace?
This first is the ordinance to proceed, and as with the sidewalk ordinance to proceed, effectively saying, start the process, go forward, and make these improvements, which once the improvements at that point, unlike a sidewalk, simultaneously, then the next piece of legislation will be to actually assess for those costs. It is very much like a construction loan. The money will be held in escrow, and as the improvements occur, there'll have to be certification that certain actions have been taken. They will then be able to apply for it and receive money from this fund.
Okay.
So that's what this next one is.
All right, this is an ordinance, and this is the first of 3 readings. Is there anyone tonight present that would like to address council on this ordinance? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 19-04.
Moving it.
I didn't read it.
Second, third.
I didn't read the summary.
You need to.
Oh, you didn't read it yet?
No.
Please.
This is an ordinance determining to proceed with the acquisition, construction, and improvement of certain public improvements in the city of Beavercreek, Ohio, in cooperation with the Beavercreek Energy Special Improvement District, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, thank you. Now I have a motion to move ordinance 1904 on to the second and third readings. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, sir.
Do I have a second? Second. All right, so I have a motion and a second to move ordinance 19-04 on to the second and third reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is ordinance 19-05. Now, would you please read?
This is an ordinance levying special assessments for the purpose of acquiring, constructing, and improving certain public improvements in the city of Beavercreek, Ohio, in cooperation with the Beavercreek Energy Special Improvement District, authorizing and improving an energy project cooperative agreement by and among the city of Beavercreek, Ohio, the Beavercreek Energy Special Improvement District, Green Innkeepers LLC, and Pace Equity LLC, providing for the financing of those public improvements, authorizing and improving a special assessment agreement by and between the city of Beavercreek, Ohio, the County Treasurer of Greene County, Ohio, Pace Equity LLC, the Beavercreek Energy Special Improvement District, and Pace Equity LLC regarding those special assessments and declaring an emergency.
Glad I didn't have to read that one.
Yeah.
Oh. Mr. McHugh, anything you want to add on this?
No, other than to say is that it does, within this, within the body, that caption does reference, this will now be the Beavercreek Energy Special Improvement District, and that will be its official name.
Any discussion? Do I have a motion to move 19-05 on to the second and third reading?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to move ordinance 19-05 on to the second and third reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. McHugh. Decision items, board appointments. The resolution 19-27 created a CRA, and we will, so we need to go back to the board appointment process that we had a couple months ago. So you can see in bold here that I need a motion as written.
Mr. Mayor, I move for renewal of the previous question of the appointments to the Community Reinvestment Area Housing Council.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to reopen the appointments. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries.
I just want to point out real quick that the way the RRC sets up a CRA is that 4 people will be appointed by the city council. So if there's more applicants that don't get appointed by council, planning commission still has to appoint somebody, and then once the board is created with those 5 individuals, the board will appoint 2 people at large for a total of 7 people on the board. Tonight, the council is looking at appointing 4 people, and then we'll go through the rest of the process as we establish those 4. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we do have 5 applications. You can see them on the screen. And so we need to appoint 4 of those this evening. So do I have a motion to open nominations?
I'd like to make a motion to open nominations.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to open nominations for the CRA board. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I will now open 4 nominations. Anybody want to nominate anybody?
I'd like to nominate Shannon Graham.
Anyone else?
I would like to nominate Pat Barton.
Anyone else?
Nominate Sharon Graham.
Shannon Graham already was.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Brian Smith.
We still need nominations.
I would nominate John Compton.
And I'm going to pass. I would nominate Keith Ayers. Now we have, do I have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to close nominations. All in favor say aye.
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 All right, we have 4 seats so you will be allowed to vote 4 times. And if I can ask Diane to read the names, please, as we go down through here.
Those in favor of Keith Ayers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pat Barton? John Copton? Shannon Graham? Brian Smith? 7. Okay.
I believe we have a clear decision in that vote, and so the voting ended up with the nominations being for Shannon Graham, Keith Ayers, Brian Smith, and John Compton. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
Can we move to appoint those?
Please.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Brian Smith, Shannon Graham, John Compton, and Keith Ayers.
Second.
I have a motion to appoint the individuals just mentioned.
For the term of 4/22/19 through 2/28 of '22.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries, and welcome to the CRA Board. One of the new members is sitting here in the audience today, Mr. Graham.
I'd like to say a few words.
Congratulations.
Speech. Just
Put him on the spot.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that I was here with my scouts. They picked the night to show up, so this was a coincidence thing. I'm glad that I'm here as an example as to what they can do in their community. So thank you guys very much.
Great.
Thank you. All right, moving on, council time. Mr. Curran, would you like to start? You have anything you'd like to share?
You have 2 things. The Easter
Microphone.
brunch out at the golf club was a great success. Really was a fantastic crowd, mayor and council, and really want to congratulate the staff for outstanding job out there. And then secondly, the classes for the lifelong learning at the Beavercreek Center, Lefino Center, begin May 1st. And the information that we have is all classes are full that are going to be on the roster. So May 1st, if you want to stop out and just take a gander, why, I think the committee did a fantastic job in putting it together. So it'll be a real asset to the Senior Citizen Center.
Thank you. Councilman Upton.
Thank you, Mayor Stone. A couple quick things. I want to thank Mayor Stone, Councilmember Van, and Councilmember Kern for joining me last week at the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission's annual dinner. It was a great event. City Manager Landrum joined us as well. He and his wife reserved a table for us. Very, very thoughtful. But dinner was great. We heard some good commentary from representatives of the state, and a special presentation. And congratulations goes out to Councilmember Sarah Lomanchilds from Riverside. She was honored for, that evening for her many years, I won't give away the number of years, but many years of service not only to the city of Riverside, but to the entire Miami Valley region that she's had over the decades. It was a nice surprise. Her family from North Carolina showed up at the last minute, and she didn't know that they were there until she was on stage. So kind of a nice presentation there by all. But again, thanks to MVRPC for the dinner. And secondly, I also want to say a quick happy birthday to our very own Mayor Stone.
Oh my goodness.
Yesterday he celebrated his birthday, is that right?
It is correct.
Yep, so happy birthday, Mayor Stone.
So
Thank
you're a
you very
senior
much.
citizen now?
Should we sing happy birthday?
I'm just now getting my membership. You don't believe that somehow.
That's all for me tonight.
Thank you, sir. All right, Councilmember Van.
No report.
Councilmember Rushing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few items with Councilmember Van. Had the opportunity this past Friday to attend the ribbon cutting for the new Rotary playground equipment as well as sidewalks. As we know, this was a joint partnership with the township to secure that grant, and yet is another example of our shared services with the township and also our staff's great ability to obtain grants and to be a force multiplier, if you will, to stretch tax dollars. It was a little rainy and cold, but it was nice to celebrate new playground equipment as well as sidewalks. Also, had the opportunity to join the staff and faculty of the Wright State School of Professional Psychology as they celebrate their 40th anniversary in the community. They had an open house at the Ellis Institute downtown in Dayton. And something that I found very interesting is that the oath that all doctoral students in psychology take was founded at the School of Professional Psychology here at Wright State. So any student who's taking that, going through that program, getting a PsyD, taking their professional oath, it was founded here at our very own Wright State School of Professional Psychology. So congratulations on 40 years and to many more and the impact to the community. Joining with many members of council, they had the opportunity to recognize some of the many volunteers for our great community at our annual volunteer recognition event. And then congrats to the Beavercreek Chamber on another successful Taste of Greene County. So many other council members there at a new venue that was very welcoming and had a lot of room to accommodate all the guests. So congrats to the Chamber. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Literal.
Well, the first thing I have is I'd like to celebrate Earth Day with all of you. So it's a great opportunity for us to do our part to help. So today is Earth Day, and it's great things that we can do, even just one thing a day that we do that's good for the environment. Sure. So second thing is Parks and Rec. We have some great opportunities, especially we have some scouts. They have our summer kickoff this Saturday, April 27th. From 11 to 2 at Lefino Park, and it's a free event, so bring your families out. We're going to have some kite flying, food, games, inflatables, summer camp, and park information, which that's one of the big things we do here in Beavercreek. Again, and the Green Optimist Club will be out there to celebrate with us, and the Optimists just do a wonderful, they are wonderful in our community, so can't say enough about our Optimists. Along with that, they are, unfortunately, I would love to come to that. Our summer kickoffs are wonderful, but I will be at the Beavercreek Women's League Luncheon, which is this Saturday as well. So there's lots of things on the calendar. And then there's some Girl Scout awards this coming Sunday that Councilmember Van and I know will be attending, and we're looking forward to the accomplishments of these young women. So, and then lastly, I just want to thank Vault 6936. Is that correct?
69. You're right.
I was right. 6936. I want to thank them for that wonderful presentation.
Wasn't that good?
You know, the amount of just the knowledge that these young people have and the vision that they have is inspiring. And to see from freshmen all the way up to seniors and to see our females represented in that group was just wonderful. So I want to thank them for coming. And I'd also like to thank our scouts because they've stayed the whole time. So I really appreciate that. Great job, guys. Great job.
All right, thank you. Vice Mayor Garcia.
Thank you. Just really quickly, I would join with Councilmember Literal. Thank you for the Scouts for being here and to Vault 6936 for their presentation. A lot of what they said went directly over my head, but it looked very fancy and very high-tech and very educational. So I really appreciate them being here. Those STEM programs are very, very interesting, and we're really happy to have such a great presence here in the Beavercreek area.
All right. Just a couple things to add. The kickoff was mentioned at Lefino Park. Immediately following that celebration is the Arbor Day celebration at 2 o'clock. Russ Nature Park on Kemp Road, which is a county-owned park, but a great asset to Beavercreek. I've got great comments from people that use that as walking trails, etc. They're having a ribbon cutting tomorrow for their restrooms. Anybody here might want to join that. And then just a general announcement, the USO is having a concert on the 24th at the Air Force Museum, and the Band of Flight will be playing. And so that's always it's a free concert. Anybody that may want to stop by, and that's all I have. City Manager's report. Mr. Landrum.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll make things a little quick here, as I'm going to give a little time at the end for some levy information. But Beavercreek Thoroughfare Plan, we have an open house here on, I believe it is Wednesday, April 24th, 5 to 7. Come view an updated plan and provide planning and development staff your input and comments. This is before it comes to council. I think in May it'll come before council. So come view it and give the update and give your feedback. We've already talked about this, the summer kickoff. That's this Saturday. Don't forget 11 to 2, and then the Arbor Tree Advisory Board invites everybody for the Arbor Day event immediately following at 2. 4th of July, we're still seeking nominations for the Grand Marshal, so please get those in before May 1st or by May 1st. You can contact the Parks Department or the website for all the forms needed. But Grand Marshal ideas, we need them. Get them to us, please. Planning Commission meeting for Wednesday, May 1st has been canceled. Just the next meeting will be Wednesday, June 5th, 2019. And a fishing derby coming up Saturday, May 11th. Dominic Lafino Park, 8 o'clock is at registration. It's a free event, catch and release. It's a good time there, so please join us for the fishing derby. Open house is coming up as well, May 18th. This is for the police department and for City Hall. Last year it was a great success here for City Hall. I think council members had more fun than everybody else. It was a good time. We had great food next door, and then of course here the kids love to come up here and play council and get their pictures taken. And plus we have a demonstration set up in the back for the police department, which brings people over. So please mark your calendars, May 18th, 11 to 2 for the police and City Hall open house. And just all the construction things going on, just want to remind everybody, thank you for your patience. You'll see North Fairfield Road, you'll see Colonel Glenn and Grange Hall. I know it's been a pain, but with construction comes a little pain. But hopefully it'll all be worth it in the end when it's done. We appreciate the patience with that. So please watch your speed and slow down and be careful of your stopping distance. And just wanted to remind everybody before our next meeting, there will be Election Day, May 7th. Polls open 6:30 to 7:30. Now they have had, because it's not everybody doesn't have things to vote on, everybody in the city does. So some of the polling stations have changed. So make sure you check with Board of Elections for precinct information. Also, Greene County Auditor does have information on their property tax estimator tool. So you can be educated on how much your property taxes may be impacted by any certain levy. You can check on that as well. Speaking of that, I wanted to have Mr. Thonerow, our Director of over Parks and Streets and many other departments, but I'm asked Mr. Thonerow to briefly describe the two levies that are on the May 7th ballot. Mr. Thonerow?
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. I'm happy to be before you this evening. The City Manager said I had 45 minutes to go through this PowerPoint presentation. Oh, I think he said 4 to 5 minutes is what he actually said, and I'll try and make it even quicker than that. But we do have some important issues coming up on the ballot. This council is well aware, but I appreciate the opportunity to share with the viewing audience and those folks at home. We're talking about our street levy and our park levy. I'll talk a little bit about some of the current successes, what these levies look like, and then what you can expect in the future. Start off with our park levy. We've been very blessed. Our park maintenance staff, as well as our leadership in our parks team, has done an excellent job with policy direction from City Council and our residents to be able to start to make some great improvements in our facilities. We have a couple of pictures of some improvements that have been made. We've been making improvements to neighborhood parks as well as our Veterans Memorial. Small improvements like irrigation and lighting. Larger improvements like the Lafino Plaza and expansion of the Beavercreek Senior Center. Small improvements like putting shade structures over existing play facilities. some larger ones like adding some new playgrounds. Pictured here, we've got a picture of Shout Park. With this levy, we've replaced 10 different playgrounds and received 4 grants and 1 partnership over this past 5-year period. Many of the folks at home will recognize Shout Park, of course. We've improved accessibility to many of our parks. You can see the pass at Wardinger Park, and improved crumbling tennis facilities at our only tennis facility at Dominic Lafino Park. We've been able to make a lot of improvements with this past levy, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what this levy is now and what you can expect in the future. We continue to try and take care of what we have with this levy. Our focus really maintains our existing operations. This is a 0.9 mil renewal with a 0.3 increase for a continuous period of time. It will cost residents $42 per $100,000 valuation of their home. There is a slight increase of $10.50 per $100,000 valuation of your home. And as Mr. Landrum indicated earlier, and as was on the front slide, the county auditor has a nice estimator on his website so that residents can go and see exactly how that impacts their home. This levy generates $1.5 million. It is dedicated just to the maintenance of parks, recreation, and culture facilities, including our neighborhood parks, our Beavercreek Senior Center, and the expansion, including Lafino Plaza. This funding will allow us just to maintain our existing operations. What's next? Much more of the same. A lot of the same things that we've talked about as early successes in our last levy, we'd like to continue on in this next levy. We'll continue replacing aging infrastructure, look at improving access points at our bike access points along Creekside Trail, adding fix-it stations, continuing to add trees, more shade structures, paths and trails, making sure that we improve that accessibility for everyone to be able to get into their parks and get in and around their parks. So much more of the same coming with this next levy. I'm going to talk just a little bit, same kind of format, about some of the successes that we've had and what that levy is, and then what's upcoming with our street levy as well. This levy is a little different than the park levy. It's what we like to call a concrete and asphalt, or a bricks and mortar kind of capital improvement levy. We were able to resurface about 30% of the city's roadways in the first 5-year cycle, getting over 79 miles. In the first levy cycle that we put out, we intended to improve our resurfacing by doubling our resurfacing. We were doing about 7 miles, and historically now we're averaging about 15 miles per year. We've significantly reduced the number of roads that were over 20 years old and started a curb replacement program as part of this levy. Some of the things that we really like to see, what we're striving for, that picture in the upper left-hand corner, it shows a picture of curb repaired and resurfaced. We've done enhancement projects. We've done some small storm sewer projects that are impacting roadways. We've done some road widening projects and some interchange projects. The picture on the right, all the green are roads that were either touched as part of our resurfacing program or roads that were impacted through another capital project. Could be the widening project like you see pictured on Dayton Xenia Road. Could be the widening project that we had previously completed on North Fairfield, south of 35. Lots of the projects are included in this green map as well, but we're very, very pleased that we were able to touch a large part of our city as a part of this levy. The levy is a 2 mil levy. It's a renewal for a continuing period of time. It is general purpose just for maintaining our streets, and it is a construction only. It does not have a operational component. It will continue to cost residents $70 per $100,000 valuation of their home, and this one is a 0 increase in current taxes. This levy generates $2.6 million annually for our capital improvement program.
Thank you, Mr. Thornrow.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're thrilled with the results of this last levy and appreciate the opportunity, as Councilmember Rushing said earlier, to be able to stretch those residents' dollars as far as we can as part of this capital program. We're going to continue that over this next cycle and continue to apply very aggressively for grants and be able to continue taking care of the city's infrastructure. So thank you all for your support and your leadership in both these important issues. Thank you.
Good. Very good, thanks.
That's all I have, Mayor.
All right. Before we move on to citizens, there's a couple things I forgot about. One is we hosted mayors and managers this past month. And so I want to thank the chief. The chief and his crew did a demonstration of their virtual reality. Many of you have seen it at our open house. And the mayors and managers throughout the region were very impressed and a little intimidated as well. We didn't get a whole lot of volunteers to get up there and try it out, but we did find out there are a few people, if we know they have a gun, we do not want to be around them because they're dead. They're a sharpshooter. And also, before we close this evening, one more thanks to UES for the wonderful donation for the fireworks. And with that, is there anyone here tonight that would like to address council on any issue at all? Please give your name and address.
Hi, I'm Isaac. I'm Isaac Graham. I live 2700 North Emerald Drive, Beavercreek, Ohio. I'm one of the assistant senior patrol leaders in Troop 42. Our troop is working on the citizenship in the community merit badge, and one of our requirements is to bring up an issue that concerns us. Subject I will be bringing up is budget cuts and how 8th grade PE was cut from Jacob Coy Middle School. This affects me because PE was one of the main things that I look forward to in school. School gets pretty boring, sitting in classrooms all day, doing not a lot, and not getting a lot of physical activity. During the winter time, PE would be one of my main physical activities, and yeah. At recess, or one of the options you could do is open the baseball fields at recess time to 8th graders.
All right. Well, thank you. Sir, name and address.
I'm Jack Bales, and I live at 2391 Forest Oaks Drive. And I was here to talk about the budget cuts for the school and how we're losing a lot of items that we were able to do last year, like foreign language. We aren't able to choose other languages except for Spanish, like we aren't able to do French or German. And that affects me because I'm trying to learn German because I'm from Germany, so I want to learn German. And I'm not able to do that, though, because we don't have German.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Jacob Huddleston, and I do not know my address. But I want to speak about how, because the school levy did not pass, some of the high schoolers won't be getting buses. And some people are quite far away from the high school, which makes it hard for them to get to school in the morning because some people have both their parents and jobs in the morning and can't drive them to school. So.
All right, thank you. Please.
My name is Andrew Kettleson. I am living at 1851 Pathfinder Court, and what he said.
Okay. Short and sweet, please.
I am Jace Pambrin. I have no clue what my address is.
All right. Anyone else that would like to address council tonight? On anything at all? Seeing none, we will move on. And with just a general comment, does anybody like to make a general comment to the Scouts? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, Scouts, thanks for coming out tonight. I took a couple notes based off of your commentary there, and I will be reaching out to the school board members to see if we can get some feedback from the school board. Unfortunately, city council, we don't oversee the schools and their decisions on their budget. We oversee our police department, parks, streets, and various other city functions, and the budgets and policies there. But I think we all have friends and colleagues over at the school board that we can take some of this feedback to and discuss with them. So appreciate you guys coming out tonight.
And appreciate you recognizing that when you want to get your message out to the general public, this is a good place to do it. So your message did get out. It is something that we as a council cannot act on, but we as individuals can certainly communicate. So thank you very much. All right. Do we have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.